I want to work in Canada. I want a work permit for Canada. Can you help me? Guys, trust me when I say this. I get hundreds of messages every day, comments, all across social media. And one basic, more than half of the times, one basic question comes to me all the time is I want to work in Canada. I want a work permit. Can you help me? Guys, this question is so important because a lot of frauds are happening around the globe. People are being misled by various agents. So I think it's my responsibility to let you know how the work permits or coming to Canada applying for work permit program works. I will give you some good broad overview of the whole program so that the next time you read up on it, or if you hear or if you watch a video, you will be able to identify how is it going to work in the forward steps. I will try my best to cover everything in this video today. Obviously, nothing will be in greater detail because it's a very broad topic, but you will still get a very good sense of it by the end of the video. So please be sure to watch the video till the end. My name is Sahil. So guys, welcome back once again. My name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I practice here in Ontario. My office is here. If you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen and the details are there in the description box. More than happy to connect with you. Before we proceed any further, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are an aspirant of moving to Canada, then this is a channel that you must be subscribed to all the time. So guys, we are discussing the important topic of work permits. Whenever somebody says that I want to work in Canada, I need a work permit, I think it gets really important for you to understand that how the work permit program or the foreign national workers, temporary foreign worker program works here in Canada. Guys, first of all, let me lay certain, groundwork for this. A work permit is not an open-ended application that anybody can apply, just to get a basic sense of understanding. For example, a visitor visa is an application that anybody can apply. Anybody sitting around the globe thinks I want to go ahead and visit Canada, apply for a visitor visa. You may or may not get it, that's a separate question, but you can still apply for it. On the other hand, a work permit is not an open-ended application. It is not like anybody would want to apply because there are certain eligibilities attached to it. Okay. Another basic understanding of a work permit that you must understand before dive any further is that there are two kinds of work permits in layman understanding: open work permit, employer specific work permit, that is also known as closed work permit. Open work permit, as the name suggests, means you can work in any province, any city, any location, any job, and any designation, any knock code, unless there are certain restrictions that are placed on your permit, which you will be shared with on the permit itself. And obviously certain trades like sex trade or strippers and all of that are not at all allowed by the by the Canadian government. And apart from that, open work permit will mostly let you work for any job, any location, and any number of hours, so there are no restrictions. On the other hand, a closed work permit or an employer specific work permit, as the name suggests, means it is tied to one employer only. The employer's name will be mentioned on your work permit, and the hours and everything, the pay and everything will be pre-specified on the job offer that will be attached to that work permit. So the employers are not at will, or you are not at will to work anywhere else and do as you may like, for example giving lesser hours or more or whatever. There are certain restrictions attached to that employer specific work permit. So overall, work permits are of two types: open or closed only. And then further they get drilled down into multiple types, application and categories. Okay. Guys, to better understand work permits, I would like to present it in 5 different types or categories of work permits. Obviously, these are not the same terminologies that you would read up on the IRCC website, but these are terminologies that I have created for a better understanding as to what category. I will still tell you what are the further categories of it, but 5 broad categories for basic understanding. First is, the first category that for layman is a dependent work permit. Basically, a dependent work permit would mean that the dependents of, students in Canada, or maybe workers, people who have closed work permits, workers in Canada, or maybe people who have post-graduation work permits or other work permit holders, their dependents like spouses can apply for a work permit, open work permit. Okay, so dependent work permit means you are applying on behalf of somebody. So you are not the fresh applicant. Before you, your partner or your common law or your spouse would have already applied. So that's the first category. Second category would be other open work permits. For example, a postgraduate work permit, something under an agreement. For example, an international experience class. That is the International Experience Canada category, IEC, which is normally known as that. That is there, or could be a bridging open work permit, right? All of these are the other open work permits. So like I said, this is not an open-ended, and normally people who are sitting outside Canada would not have these options as commonly available as the next ones that I'm about to tell. So these are the other open work permits. Most of the times you would not find yourself eligible if you are thinking of it, if you are just hearing on a video. Otherwise, if your spouses or your friends and families, or if you've studied here, you would already know about these programs if you're here in Canada. The third category would be an LMIA exempt category. With this LMI exempt, I mean certain categories which just require a job offer from your employer. For example, a religious worker category, you can just get yourself a job offer from that organization, and you can then apply for an LMI exempt, which means the LMI requirement goes away, but the job offer requirement still remains. Okay, so that is there. A third category would be something related to a business investment. For example, C10, C11, which is self-employed. C10 could be a significant benefits. You could also invest in Canada a couple of $100,000 and then apply for your own LMIA, maybe a 00 knock code. So yes, those kind of LMIs can be done. Like I said, again, it's not open-ended. Certain investments or certain business ties have to be created first, and then only one can apply, right? Last but not the least, the very important and the by far most famous is the employer specific work permit of two kinds. So the last category has further two categories: LMIAs, LMIA exempt. Okay, LMIA is where the maximum public falls into. Most of the times, people are finding themselves eligible under the LMIA required work permits. LMIA exempt category, just to talk about it. For example, intra-company transfer. Say your company has operations overseas and they have a branch in Canada, could send the person here. That could be an intra-company transfer. Could be, another LMIA exempt under a particular category. Say NAFTA again, or your company could apply for it. So you could do that. There could be, the LMIA related category or the LMIA related work permits are very specific, and you need to understand. Whenever applying for an LMIA specific work permit, that means it's an employer specific work permit, and the stages are very set in pattern. First, you have to find yourself a job in Canada. Okay, so the first step is you have to find an employer who likes you and is ready to give you a job offer. Second step, the employer will apply for an LMIA on your behalf. So basically, they will show how big and good and successful their business is. How important is the requirement? They will go to Service Canada and get themselves an LMIA. And then the employer will give this LMIA to you as an applicant, and then you will apply for a work permit based on that LMIA. Okay, so you understand. First job offer, then LMIA, then you get the LMIA plus job offer, then you apply for a work permit. It's a multi-stage program. It is not a direct work permit. So work permit is not a direct application. Okay. So whenever somebody poses a question that I want a work permit, can you get me a work permit? My usual next question to them is that, do you have a job? Because job, LMIA, work permit application, then decision, right? So you need to ask yourself this first question, and you need to start the first steps of finding yourself a job. Find yourself the employer, and that employer is responsible to do the LMIA. And once that LMIA is done, he will give it to you, and then you will apply for a work permit. Okay, this is how this work permit program works. Guys, overall, like I said, the foreign national, the temporary foreign worker program, the work permit program is very complex in nature, but at the same time it is very effective as well. It has been running for many years now, and people are using it successfully. A lot of people come to Canada to work. You can also come to work, but don't think of it like an open-ended application that anybody can apply. Like other countries which I'm aware of, unlike other countries, under normal circumstances, you would require a job offer first, and then you could apply for a work permit, right? Guys, I hope this video did give you much insights into how the temporary foreign worker program works here in Canada. If you have any specific questions, if you want to discuss your personal case, please feel free to schedule a consultation with us and we would be more than happy to discuss going further. Guys, we wish you all the best and we really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.